This period has been very challenging for Nigerians. It started with the NSAS protest, which led to some violence, which also led to the shooting at the Lekki Tollgate, to the arson, to the burning of properties, and all of that. It also introduced the palliative period and the looting of the palliative period. It brings to this conversation a critical question of what is wrong with our social structure. Why do we have so much vexation, so much anger, that a little push can erupt to this kind of violence? So it brings to that question, is there a need for us to have a shift in our thinking from the old way of thinking in our social structure or in our social affairs to a new way of thinking in our social lives? For instance, when we're talking about our old way of thinking, we're talking about a system that's been built in a triangular form where we have the leader far up above others and just gives instructions below. And the guys below do not interact, do not have a meeting point with their leader. Or we're talking about the new thinking where everybody connects with the leader and also connects with themselves in a web format. So when we're talking about the old thinking, for instance, we're talking about a system where people are disconnected, people feel oppressed, people don't feel like they belong to a system, people feel that their voices have been taken away from them. To make it short, people have outsourced their thinking. They don't think, they are not able to think for themselves. Now we're talking to a new system where people feel a part of the system, where people can own their space, own their role, own their responsibility, have a voice, are encouraged to think, and also encouraged to make their input. So we're looking at two different types of system, and we're saying that the new thinking allows for growth, allows for people to become a part of the whole process. And the new thinking, and these thoughts really cuts across whether it's in business or in governance or in our family. And you have a situation where even in our families, where the leaders of the home feel disconnected, and do not know what actually happens until every other person has moved on. And this process of the CEO disease has affected a lot of homes, a lot of social structure, a lot of spaces. And so we have, for example, the case of the Second World War as it involved Adolf Hitler and Germany. Germany, shortly after the First World War, felt that they were not part of this world. They were brought upon harsh realities, oppression, reparations of up to about $33 billion. And this really affected their relationship with the outside world. So it meant that the German people felt oppressed, such to a point that they felt that they had to give up their rights to have a voice. And so this led to the breakout of the Second World War. So what we are trying to say in effect is that this new thinking allows for people to come together, to interact with their leaders and also have feedback with their leaders who would also help them build their constituency, as against the old thinking where people feel alienated, people feel oppressed, people are just waiting for their time to hit back at the government, people are just waiting for their time to hit back at the head of the family, to hit back at the MDCEO, because they feel that they're being taken for granted. So what we're trying to say in essence is that there's a need for us to shift from this old way of running our social system, our social structure, of where the leader is up there and above, dishing out instruction with no connection, with no knowledge of what's happening in his constituency, to a period where the leader is a part and parcel of the mix, where people link up with the leader and also link up with themselves. So until we meet again, stay factful, stay blunt.